doing today? Hopefully, if you type something, I can hear it here. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just decides to do whatever it wants to do. It is what it is. Alright. So, I was trying to make some videos for social media and nothing nothing seems to work. But still gonna try, you know? Just use my phone as a light. You wanna have a decent lighting setting to draw. At least something that can, like, you want to remove the as much as possible the shadow that you cast with your hand. So I have a light here. I have a light there that would cast a shadow this way. So I'm trying to compensate for that. So when I'm drawing, I'm not covering my hand. Yeah. So last time I did this, I was I'm still gonna continue with this subject matter, but I don't know if I'm gonna draw another muse today. Uh, yeah, these are muses. Yeah, according to the internet, there are 9 of them, but it seems to be that before maybe there were more or something. Maybe it's like a sub. I don't know. I would say society could be kinda. Anyhow, so today is the last stream of the week, and as such, appreciate you all. Thank you to all of you for subscribing. Those of you that have subscribed, if you haven't, consider subscribing. It really helps me out if you wanna do that. And so yeah, I guess if you have any suggestions about something to draw, I could give it a try. But let's see what I can do with this. Maybe I'll just do like sort of warm-ups. The same way you would warm up for exercise. A lot of people do the same thing for drawing, like physical exercise. Yeah, for drawing. And I guess in a way it's also a physical endeavor. Like you're using your muscles, but just the the fine the fine ones. I was trying to do a video about how you can draw a face, how to practice drawing faces. So like if this is a skull, how the jawline gets to like there, then you have the ear here, the skull gets to there where the neck should start, and the other part of the neck should be like there. Actually, Now that I'm a little bit more relaxed, it's better, I guess. So you should have like, let's imagine that this is the midline, the center line of the face. So you would have one eyebrow there, another eyebrow here, and in this case, like this should actually go in a little bit, because you have, if you see yourself on the mirror, you can see that we have a dent where the eye should go. Like if you see a skull, the skull is like, just made a sad skull. So you would have this area there. This would be the nose. I'm going into detail as to how that works, but I don't remember all the names for each one of the bones. I kind of get the idea. So your eye socket goes there. I guess if you have those molars. Well, I got derailed there, but this is what that refers to. You would have the nose here. You can play around with that, but to simplify it, I just try to. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that. Well, thank you for joining. Anyhow, so to simplify it, I'm just trying to represent the shadow that the nose casts. If I can show it with, I should have like an example here, but I don't. So, well, I guess I could draw it. Like if I draw a detailed nose, it would be, let's say, this, right? So all this area, you can simplify it by turning it into a shadow. So this is what this would be. If I want to detail a little bit more, I can add this area right here. And like I'm trying the eyebrow, I'm trying to keep it because I already frame or position the ear in relationship to the face. I just go a little bit above the ear, but I think, let's see, sometimes I mess that up. Okay, let me just turn off the studio here. So if you can see my, my face there, it goes a little bit above If I raise my eyebrow, you can see that it goes above the ear. You can sort of see that there, but if I project the line, see how it touches, but it's, I guess if I want to make it super exact, I could. But the thing is, those proportions change person to person. We have overall proportions, but depending on who you're looking at, they can have slight different measurements. So the other thing, then usually what I also try to do is uh, set where the eyes are supposed to meet, or it would be like, I don't know how to translate that, but the eye has uh, in Spanish is lagrimal. It's your crying valve or something. I don't know how to but you have your eye. You have your eye, and I'm trying to set this point right here, that if it usually coincides with the outer point of your nose, unless I guess if somebody has a really different proportion, but usually that's what that where that goes. And I also try to go for the outside of the eye. Once you have that, it should be easy peasy. And the mouth, if you can see here, it's between, like, it's the midpoint between the nose and the jawline. So it would be like here. And also, to simplify it, like, I've been drawing females for a long time now. So that eyelash that we also have, but in the case of men, we have smaller eyes, I guess. We tend to have. Anyhow, you can kind of understand what I mean. So, like, then you also have, like, this would be like where the neck meets the this would be the collarbone. I think it's the collarbone. The bone that, if you touch this area, you can see that there's a bone that goes there. So that would represent that. Usually the start of the for the hair is around here. It can shift around, but it's usually in that spot. So let's say there. So yeah, if you follow that, you can probably draw a face quite easy. depending on how young the character is, you can have the start of the hair uh, like farther forward, or you can, of course, once you start losing hair, well, yeah, pretty sure it's not fun, but you get the idea. Also, the other thing I was trying to film, but it just, there's something about being relaxed when you draw. You have to figure out a way to like chill basically, and be able to channel your your abilities. Otherwise, well, it's not gonna be easy. The other thing I wanted to show, I don't know how I want to go about this, but if you want to draw a hand, there are multiple ways you can do it. But I was trying to show that you can. One of the options you have is, think of it like squares. So like mitten hands in a way. So you would have one, two, three, and four. This would be shorter, of course, and if you want to add the other finger, you have it. If you, depending on, like, just think of kind of like the overall shape. So if I want to draw this hand, I can think about it like, of course you're gonna have the thumb, terrible thumb, but say this is sort of like a box, right? So once you have that, you can start getting into the details. Like you can see right here that this muscle can shows, well, I don't know if you can see it. You're watching a different angle than what I'm seeing, but let's say like I'm gonna do like an easy line there. So I started with the overall shape, and then I worry about the details. Like this finger is here, This finger goes there. Have that finger there and that. And this would be like the lines. Of course, I already did a few lines that I cannot erase because this is a marker, but you kind of get the idea. So oftentimes the simple way to do it is think of it like blocks of objects. Like if you start thinking, oh, it's a hand, it's really complicated, then it's gonna be complicated. If you try to simplify it, it's easier to do, I guess. The other way you can think about it is if you do like stick figure type hand. Like let's say you wanna do a hand like stretched out. So it's corso. So this is actually how I started like really practicing how to draw. The not so great thing about this is that you do need to erase after because this is the base structure that you're using. So the idea is that you add the detail on top of that. Right, not the best. But you kind of get the idea. So that's a simplification of that. um yeah, another way to draw, if you have a reference, is by actually trying to copy the you're trying to use the negative space for what you're trying to draw. It doesn't matter what it is. If you if it is a hand, if you think about it like the most basic thing that they teach you when you're like in kindergarten, like you do the this is a terrible hand, by the way, terrible, because yeah, the fingers they fan out, so they actually go in. But following this idea of like using the negative space, then you can try to draw it by watching the the negative space of the object that you're trying to draw. And then you can focus on the details. Maybe not the best example right now, but you can definitely polish it after, but for the sake of the example, you kind of get the idea. Yeah. I hope that helps some of you if you're watching this with curiosity about drawing. What else can I draw today? I want to keep going on this. Draw another face. One of the most difficult drawings, like I try every now and I still feel I do poorly on it, is like a reverse scorso, because you get all that foreshortening. Like I already extended that too much. That's not too bad. So it can be a little bit of a challenge to draw that. It takes practice. And I've been doing this for years and I still get it wrong every now and then. The hand is pain in this case. That's not too bad. Look at that. I can still do it. So the other version of it is kind of a pain, but easier, I guess. Yeah. Also, a really common thing is that once you start practicing drawing often, and you need to learn how to draw faces and so on, it's a really common thing that you're versioning your own face because it's what you know. So that's why having sort of a reference is good because it allows you to steer away from that. Hi, how's it going? How you doing, Manish? Do I want to keep going on this page? I think I'm gonna draw something fun. For me at least. Let's see. It's also a favorite subject matter of mine. Mecha designs. Gonna drop the ball there a little bit. I don't like how this is creating tension, but I wonder who joined at this point of my stream. Like just changing into a really fun thing all of a sudden. I want to add something here. I don't know. it's kind of nice. Uh, it's nice to have a marker like this. Hi, I didn't see your message. How's it going? Noticing? Did I mess it up? Yeah, a little bit. Just trying to do like a front view there. Not the best. Doing this at 10 p.m. doesn't help. Front side would be like is wrong because for it to work properly, it would have to be the positioning should be a little bit different. So I'm going to have to play around with this. Maybe something like this. I missed the positioning for this leg. Should be way more at an angle kind of thing. But maybe add a detail. Yeah. I'm just asking myself, this like would a mech like this be a helpful mech, or would it be uh, a fighting machine? Eh, it could be a utility thing. Uh, just say that it's like a medic, could be. It has like a med pack here. Once it opens, it has a med pack and some other stuff. I don't know. Medicine. and so on and so forth. Haven't dabbled in concept art lately because of, I guess, I'm a little bit disappointed. But oftentimes we have to keep going just because something is not going the way you would like for it to go doesn't mean you have to give up on it. Maybe on this places it has some more things to help, but yeah, you can sort of see what it is. I don't want to mess it up. Is this a light one? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. The other one is kind of up, you know what, in the behind because it's too dark. stuff there. Alright, here you have it, folks. There's a little mech concept in real time. Uh, 1 hour 07. Considering the fact that I wasn't going to stream today, I think I did something decent. Well, this I really like. The other stuff, I don't know. You kind of gives you an idea of some of the things you can do with drawing if you wanna try different things. Um, yeah. Wonder if I want to separate this a little bit more. Do I want to? Do I? You know what? Just to separate it a little bit from the background. Can have sort of a light there. Well, I do think that I've gotten most of my ability back. Sometimes it's not easy to channel it though. Anyhow, I'll be ending the stream soon. If you decided to join it, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time. I try to go live Monday through Thursday. Uh, if you want to check it out, I have my illustrated deck of cards that you can see on my website. It gets delivered right to your doorstep if you're interested in that. I also have a Redbubble shop where you can find merch with my illustrations in them. What else am I missing? I think I'm good for today. Yeah. Anyhow, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you next time. Let me find my music here.